24 seconds, and I'll run this again. The question was, if LeBron came first, would there be an argument? I've already given you the factual data that prove we've seen a version of LeBron who was regarded as the uncontented GOAT, which was Kareem. Jordan surpassed him. And I gave you the career stats, which Kareem had more career stats at the time. I gave you the finals MVP. I gave you the finals win. Jordan came into the league and took that away from Kareem. He also took it away from Bird, and he also took it away from Magic.
Yes,
LeBron James walked through those doors on his Lakers teams. He would have accomplished just as much as Kareem while being the better player. It wouldn't be an argument.
All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So, I made a promise in the comments a while back now that I would check out this video, and I've been avoiding it because it's over an hour long. So I've kind of decided I'm gonna break this up into sections because I did want to react to this, and I did also promise. So, but I don't want to do it all in one shot because that's gonna be like a 2 hour long video. So no, thank you. What this is one LeBron James fan versus 10 LeBron James haters. And believe it or not, this is on the House of Highlights YouTube channel, which is a massive 16.6 million subscriber channel. So to have a video like this, I'm actually really surprised because I normally on this channel, I just see, you know, post-game highlights, press conferences, stuff like that. But this is a whole different thing. One LeBron James fan taking on 10 LeBron haters. This should be pretty entertaining. So anyways, as I always do, I'm going to link it down below, the original video that's going to be in the description box. So if you want to check out this video ahead of me, go right ahead. The link is there for you. Because like I said, I'm probably going to be chunking away at this at like 30 to 40 minute sections, somewhere in there, and see what happens. So yeah, the link is down there if you guys want to check it out. Everybody, please leave this video a like. It helps out a ton. And okay, let's see what this is.
A dude that does this, crowning himself, that's the opposite of aura.
He is responsible for the detriment of the NBA.
Let's also talk about Kyle Kuzma, how he passed him the ball during the bubble to make
Let's talk about Kyle Kuzma as a sentence I did not expect to hear today.
That's the thing with LeBron. We always redefine that line of clutch.
You picked the line.
LeBron has to go jump from team to team. He's a glorified Patrick McCaw.
I'm actually a bigger Jimmy Butler hater than freaking LeBron.
That shirt, I want it. That's brilliant.
That's apparent. That's apparent. Jimmy Butler is annoying. His team sucks.
This is not what I expected. Welcome to One Fan versus 10 Haters. We have Isaac here, supernova prodigy, who's about to debate 10 of LeBron's biggest haters. We have a series of debate questions. If by the end of this you can convince one of them to become a LeBron fan, you win. If not, the haters win, which is obviously what I want to happen. First topic, no one will break LeBron James' scoring record.
I know you're finna say some shit you do not believe. Let me hear it.
I believe all of it.
Show him some respect.
Somebody is going to break LeBron's all-time scoring record. You think that just because he's doing it now, nobody's going to come after him and break him. That's what we thought about Kareem. And then guess what? Somebody broke it. Every single year, the NBA is becoming more efficient. It's getting easier for teams to score. Teams are getting smarter. All players are coming up and are learning 3 is more than 2. And so the way that people are learning how to play basketball is inherently more efficient. So people are going to come through. There's some middle schooler right now that's taking 30-footers who's going to show up, and he's going to break LeBron's scoring record. You don't think it's going to happen, but it probably will.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know in the comments. Actually, let's go through this in sections with the comments. What do you think about that? My view is I 100%. Okay, it's complicated. If the NBA continues down the path that it's going with no defense, yeah, I 100% believe that eventually someone's going to break LeBron's record. Why wouldn't they? And it's going to be a sharpshooter as well. Someone who's just getting 30 points a game, 30-something points a game, bombing threes. But if the NBA switches the rules and they go back to more of a defensive-focused league, then no, it probably won't happen. So it's kind of a complicated thing. But I just have to gauge it based off of where the NBA is now. And in this current league, absolutely. If somebody like Luka Doncic, for instance, plays a full career, plays 20 years, he's going to break the record. Anyways, put your vote in. What do you think about that one? What's your view?
And if the argument is for the entirety of space and time, something is more likely to happen than never, sure, that's not really refutable. But if we're being practical and we're talking about what you can actually envision based on something you see and you predict, there's no real reason to think that other than hope. We can say that, 3 is more than 2, and the game has made this much of a change in the last 20 years. Maybe it'll make that same change 20 more years. It's not really linear. There's only so much pushing of the envelope you can do. And while we've seen that huge envelope push happen in our time, that's not a guarantee that we're going to see another one. There's only so much space on the court, so much more math you can exploit. So I think maybe we're close to peak efficiency. If we're not, it keeps going up, fine. But you still have to reckon with the fact that somebody has to come in the league, be amazing right away, and be amazing for like 25 years without ever missing a full season of injury. The closest one is like Kevin Durant. He's missed several full seasons of injury because it's honestly, he's hilariously lucky to never have torn an ACL in 25 years. Do you expect the next great star, who's a great star from 19, to be hilariously lucky for 25 years? I wouldn't. Yeah, maybe he's cheating. I don't know. But you better hope the next GOAT cheats too then, because I don't see any reason why that's going to happen or any reason to expect that.
If he's taking some PEDs, then it's very freaking possible. I see his point with the injury thing, but I think they're leaving out the 3-pointers. It's not just about, being efficient and blah, blah, blah. It's about LeBron James was not a 3-point shooter predominantly the majority of his career. So if we introduce somebody who is and continues to be that their entire career, they can have a very long career in this kind of a league, and they can rack up a ton of points.
If you want to talk about that, the way that the game is being played, that's getting better. That's being more efficient. You want to talk about medicine, that's getting better. That's more efficient.
Medicine.
Everything is being set up for players. Everything is being set up for players to come in bigger, better, faster, stronger, which is what you say about every single generation afterwards. You may not think that it's going to be some massive explosion to where in 5 years we're going to instantly get the next GOAT. Basketball is going to be played for a long time, and the incremental differences. Eventually, we're going to get to 2055, and there's going to be some crazy kid, and he's going to come along and be the next GOAT. He's going to break LeBron's record.
If the record's broken in 2099 when we're all long gone, then you got it. You can have it.
I'm going to
win. From the grave.
All right,
I think it'll happen sooner than that. I mean, we're talking like, maybe 2040, something like that, in my view.
But first off,
all right, next round.
It's kind of hot in here.
Got a costume change? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that LeBron?
LeBron relied a lot on athleticism to go score all those points. We have players now like Luka who score like 30 points a night consistently without relying a lot on athleticism. And like this era too, you're shooting a lot more 3-pointers than ever before. So in what world would I not think someone who's taking more 3-pointers, scores 30 points a game at the age of 19, is not going to pass LeBron's scoring record? It sounds kind of ridiculous.
Exactly.
Okay, well, obviously relying on athleticism isn't true. We know he's extremely skilled, but I'll let you have that. Because the truth is, you need athleticism, especially as you age. All these guys that rely on skill, eventually you have a little bit of athleticism that lets you make that skill happen. When that goes, it goes fast. That's what you talk about. A lot of small point guards end up, aging not super good.
Okay, hold on. Okay, this is from a month ago? Like, in what world is he living in? LeBron James is 100% relying on athleticism to get his points. He's driving to the basket and lowering his shoulder every single play to get his 2-point. So I don't know what he's talking about.
Because as soon as they lose that little edge they have that lets them use the other skills they have, they fall off a cliff. And while I think Luka's amazing, he is more athletic than you think, so we'll say that. He's not relying off of no athleticism. He's really good at change of speed and all this stuff that isn't necessarily running and jumping fast. He's athletic in his own way. As soon as he loses that, whatever age that may be, let's call it 35, he's going to be relying on a lot of tough buckets, more than he does now. And you need to have some baseline of athleticism to age well. People don't typically age well as a volume scorer unless they're very athletic. So you think of the best players that age well of all time. Chris Paul, Tim Duncan. They weren't out here averaging 25 at the age of 36. That's not the way their game's evolved.
They also don't rely on athleticism as much as LeBron does. Are you saying LeBron doesn't rely on his athleticism?
There you go.
Anybody who has a high volume scoring relies on athleticism to some extent.
But LeBron doesn't rely on it more than other players?
No, he's more athletic than other players. That the word rely implies that's all he has and that he needs that.
It's 80% of what he
does.
does.
Have you seen the last couple of years? That guy is not jumping high anymore. Those eyes are not going above the rim anymore.
LeBron's still not jumping high?
Not as high as he was. His forehead is barely touching the rim.
And Luka just relies on step back 3-pointers.
All right.
Hey,
so real quick on that one, just because that was an interesting one. I liked the LeBron hater on that one, what he was saying. They're talking about Luka Doncic. If somebody like Luka learned how to play off the ball in the second half of his career, when his athleticism starts going downhill, he absolutely can continue and sustain. That's all I got to say about that. just park his ass on the 3-point line and get a ball dominant player with him. I mean, honestly, they could do it right now with Kyrie if they wanted to, but Luka's in his prime, so they don't need to do that. But if Luka was like 32 years old, man, put the ball in Kyrie's hands, let him do his magic, and whenever there's clearance, ball goes out to Luka for a bomb, 3, boom. He can get 30 points a game, no problem that way.
I'll tell you what your GOAT did.
Okay.
Your GOAT created a whole generation of stat stuffers. More than ever, right?
Yep.
Everyone's about the stats. It's not about winning anymore. That's Jordan's generation. So you have all these people coming in, stuffing the stats. You have guys like TJ Warren putting up 50-point games. That dude's not even on a roster.
Oh, I already like her a lot. Yes, 100%.
If he can do that, what do you mean it's never going to be broken? Then we're like, oh my God, LeBron was a freak of nature, 6'8", 250, right? Well, then we've seen another freak of nature in Wemby, 7'4", and can shoot it, right? Think about the next freak of nature. Not to mention that medicine has gotten insanely better and will continue to get better. Or what if, this is going to be crazy for a LeBron guy to try to visualize, but what if we get a generation that's actually tougher? You know, guys who could play back-to-back. Woo! That's so crazy.
Picking themselves up by the bootstraps.
Yeah. I like what she's saying. What if these players are playing 82 games? That means you don't have to play 21 seasons to break that record.
Games. And the last point I'm going to make to you is the NBA has turned to an offensive league.
Yep.
They have literally changed the rules to make players score more. Like the no hands-on rule. We heard last season they were talking about getting rid of the charge. I mean, how much pushes of help do these offensive players need to surpass LeBron? It's going to happen. It's probably going to happen multiple times. And LeBron will be a thing of the past, just like y'all try to do to Jordan.
First thing I'd like to say is I love the implication that TJ Warren scored 50 off the backbone of LeBron James' existence in this world. I think we should do that with every random 50-point. Corey Brewer, let's give that one to Kobe. Let's just attribute it to every random star because we can. And, you know, modern medicine is getting better. It's good now. And guys still can't play healthy seasons now. It's still an issue that every NBA star gets hurt. And I think it's under talked about that is becoming a huge thing. Almost no stars can survive. Why was that on?
Why do you think? It's my call. Finish your sentence and move on. What do you mean?
Players can't stay healthy now. I don't know if that's going to get fixed over time. It's under talked about how much the spacing has caused that to be a thing. So maybe we'll just cure ACL tears one day and we can just pop a pill and cure it overnight. Maybe that's possible. Maybe we have some Harry Potter growth spells that immediately make you just grow a bone back. I don't think modern medicine doesn't get that much better. Maybe.
We'll come back from ACL in 6 months, though.
Okay, the 24 seconds needs to be slightly respected.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, two things real quick. One, who is this guy? I feel like I've seen him somewhere. I know that voice. Two, I like what she was saying about this because it's true. What if the league starts implementing rules, which they already are starting to do, but more rules that are forcing the players to play more games? Because it's not like what he is saying, where the players are getting injured so they can't play 82 games. It's that they're choosing not to. So what if they start choosing to play more games? That gives them way more opportunities to score more points. Plus, as she also said, well, back in 2003 when LeBron was drafted, they eliminated the hand check rule, I believe, in 2004, right afterwards. However, even then, from 2004 compared to now, there was a lot more defense in the league than there is now. So if they continue with this no defense situation, people bombing threes, combined with the fact that people are playing more, it's some crazy denial to think that it's impossible for this record to get broken. I 100% think it's going to happen.
LeBron came before MJ. There wouldn't be an argument about who is better. Mr. Deshaun,
he raised his hand fast.
Step forward.
That was instant.
We could say this very simply. This is a great question, by the way. We've already seen Jordan surpass the GOAT before him, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem, since high school, was ready to be the greatest player, just like we saw LeBron James. Kareem in his career, 6 NBA finals, right, where he won, okay? And he had made 10 appearances just like LeBron, except he happened to win more than LeBron did. Kareem, the all-time scoring leader, just like LeBron. correct. He also is top 10 in rebounds and might be up there in block shots as well. So we've already seen an all-around player with an unstoppable move and the persona bravado as I'm the greatest. And what did Jordan do?
Yep.
Surpassed him, right? He went
100%.
6-0. That's 100% in the finals.
Yep.
He also has the MVPs to match up with him and 6 finals MVP, which is something that Kareem did not do. So we have already seen this iteration of Jordan following up someone who is deemed as the greatest. So if you reverse the roles, there's still no debate. Jordan tops LeBron every time.
Wow. That's a drop the mic situation. He just nailed it. I don't even have anything to add. That 100% is dead on. Because in my opinion, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's resume is much better than LeBron James's. And the main reason is that winning percentage in the finals. He won 6 out of 10. Well, LeBron's won 4 out of 10. Which one's better? Everything else looks pretty much 1-1. I'd give the Cap the GOAT title over LeBron any day of the week. And that's how it goes in my list as well. Plus his collegiate success, possibly being the greatest college basketball player of all time. We have to take that stuff into effect. So I think 100% he's right. We already had somebody like LeBron before MJ. And then MJ came in and blew it out of the water.
Get your love for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Unfortunately, that is entirely irrelevant. This is not a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar versus LeBron James conversation.
By the way, put in your vote on that. How do you guys feel about this topic? If LeBron came first, there wouldn't even be an argument. In other words, if LeBron came before Jordan, then Jordan wouldn't even have contested the greatness of LeBron. Do you believe that? I don't believe it for 1 second.
It is Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. If any of that mattered, you would have Kareem at 2 and LeBron at 3. Do you?
I have LeBron at 4.
All right, so clearly I'm speaking to somebody with an outrageous worldview on LeBron James. So that makes sense to me. That makes total sense.
No,
now,
Kareem's got a better resume. So it's not outrageous. If stats are what matters to you, then let's go and look at the accolades.
Bring that up. Unfortunately, I live in reality, and I do not believe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a greater player than LeBron James. All those things you said make sense. If you're simply looking at it that all Jordan had to do to pass up and be the GOAT is check boxes on paper. And that makes total sense. As a Jordan fan, you see number 6, number 0, he's the GOAT. LeBron, the argument for him has nothing to do with whatever Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did. He's a better player, that he's, the typical things, bigger, faster, stronger, but he's a better passer. Scoring, let's call it equal. If you want to give it to Jordan by edge because of whatever.
Kareem was a better all-around player. He was a more efficient scorer, a better rebounder, better defender. Like, what are we talking about here? Maybe LeBron gets him on assists. So what? That's like 1 to 5. LeBron gets more turnovers. So I don't really know. I can think of a lot of things that the Cap did a lot better than LeBron does.
Reasons you have, sure. LeBron's a better interior scorer. If you want to give Jordan jump shooting, go ahead. Scoring is close enough. The passing is a big difference. I think LeBron's more versatile defensively. He's obviously the higher IQ player, lifts people up around him better, the better playmaker in that way. If you believe that he is truly the better player all around, which, many LeBron fans do, obviously you don't, that would be enough that if he came first, you wouldn't see Jordan pass him up. So much of why Jordan is revered as his unquestioned GOAT is nostalgia, is he came first,
no, he
was the first guard to come in and be a guy that showed you can, win a title around a perimeter player when previously it was all big men, like you said. If LeBron had did that first, that talking point would be irrelevant. He would be great, obviously, he'd be in the conversation, but none of that nostalgia would be attached to him, and he wouldn't have this reverence about him. He wouldn't be the same outside the court figure because we would have already had LeBron to deify in that way. So all of that type of bigger than basketball stuff that's attached to Jordan's name would be gone. There'd be very little argument, especially if LeBron presumably dominated that generation in the same way Jordan did, which I don't have any doubt he would. Do you?
Yeah, I do. And I think you made a couple of points that aren't based in fact and more based in opinion.
That's all it is.
Well, no, there are some facts to back it up, some of which that I've named, right? You talked about being a more versatile defender.
Yeah. Before he gets into that, he's the Lakers guy, the LeBron guy said that nobody was ever at that height, essentially, of greatness before Jordan. And that's total BS. How about Wilt Chamberlain? How about Bill Russell? How about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? How about Magic Johnson? All right? Because Jordan had to take over from the Magic era. we've had plenty of people that were at the top of the mountain, and then Jordan had to surpass them. So suddenly, if we had LeBron James in there before Jordan, assuming that Jordan couldn't surpass him, I don't understand that argument whatsoever, because it's a lie. Jordan had to surpass multiple GOATs before he got to the top of the mountain. This is interesting.
The Defensive Player of the Year awards don't say that.
You want to talk about the?
Well,
go ahead.
let me finish.
Sorry.
Right? So that goes in favor of Jordan. You said we can call scoring equal. How? Michael Jordan once averaged 37 points per game. Has LeBron ever done that?
Nope.
No.
Are we going to go off of the best scores of all time, or the ones who average the most per
year? Are
year?
you going to let me finish?
Well, you gave me
Let me
you
finish the argument.
you gave me a pause to respond.
Your argument was also that was just the little pregnant.
Okay,
pause.
being dramatic. Go ahead. My
Yes.
bad. Okay, I respect
now,
it.
LeBron's stats are more based in longevity, right? If you're talking about who's the greater scorer, we're looking at points per game. We're looking at playoff performances. We're looking at regular season performances. You can't call that a wash, right? You can't call the defensive stats a wash either. And then you talked about uplifting players and making players better. Is that really true? I don't think so. Who did Jordan take to the finals? Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley, Ron Harper, a bunch of players that after they left him were not able to accomplish the same things. When LeBron James gets a player, they get worse. Remember that guy, Kevin Love? What was he doing in Minnesota? And then what happens when he joins LeBron in Cleveland? Kyrie Irving, same thing. Players don't get better.
Chris Bosh.
LeBron is able to dominate the game more and take them away from the stardom that they already had, because you know he likes to acquire players and not make them homegrown.
Oh man, I like that guy. Yeah. I'm rocking with this dude any day. Like
Yeah, I hear you. And everything you said makes total sense.
Hold up. Did I skip something?
And not make them homegrown.
Okay, yeah. No, I'm rocking with this dude any day. He's grounded in pure logic, and I like it. He's not emotional about it. He's just straight shooting facts.
Yeah, I hear you. And everything you said makes total sense if you stopped thinking about basketball in like 2010. And if you were still in like points per game equal good, and we didn't realize what the value of efficiency, the value of playing in a certain system that gets touches to other people.
Jordan averaged 50% for his career, higher efficiency than LeBron. So what are you talking about?
Not simply funneling into one person. Points per game hasn't been the metric for who makes simply the better scorer in like 15 years of discourse. We are so far past that.
Okay. So in that case, according to your logic,
You viewed points per game as the end all be all?
according to your logic, it does not matter who has the most points in NBA history. So you might as well just strike that off of LeBron's resume. Who cares? It's not about volume scoring from one person, right? So it doesn't matter.
Great. Then he's going to be your GOAT regardless. But if you understand the value of efficiency, the value of getting a certain type of bucket that creates shots for others, and value of making the right play and not simply chasing a high points per game value,
turnovers?
It's easy to understand why LeBron is equally as good of a scorer.
No.
In his prime, he shot nearly 80% at the rim, which is ridiculous. We don't have the tracking numbers for Jordan back then. It would have been good too. He would have been 68, 70, obviously. Part of that is era. He would have been lower because less spacing. So we could acknowledge that. He wouldn't have been a goddamn 80. I'll tell you that. He wouldn't have been the freight train in the open court that LeBron is. I feel very
LeBron
safe.
wouldn't have been an 80 back then either, because it wouldn't be wide open lanes, and he acknowledges that.
Saying LeBron is the best open court scorer getting to the rim, probably of all time, besides the bigs like Shaq. Is that fair?
Hold on, I'm going to have to go 24 seconds on this topic.
24 seconds, and I'll run this again. The question was, if LeBron came first, would there be an argument? I've already given you the factual data that prove we've seen a version of LeBron who was regarded as the uncontented GOAT, which was Kareem. Jordan surpassed him. And I gave you the career stats, which Kareem had more career stats at the time. I gave you the finals MVP. I gave you the finals win. Jordan came into the league and took that away from Kareem. He also took it away from Bird, and he also took it away from Magic.
Yes,
LeBron James walked through those doors on his Lakers teams. He would have accomplished just as much as Kareem while being the better player. It wouldn't be an argument. It's entirely irrelevant to focus on what happened to those guys. We're talking about a hypothetical in which a better player was in those situations.
No, it's perfectly valid, because the hypothetical, like that hypothetical puts a guy who actually did what LeBron did better already in that place right before Jordan, and not a long time before Jordan. They were in the league at the same time. Okay, Jordan was coming up, and Kareem was on his way out. So it's not like we had 20 years to go. Like, I don't know, but back in the day, no, it was like a direct handoff, and then Jordan just surpassed him.
NBA player at the beginning of each season, what is your ultimate goal?
To win a championship. I'll go ahead and give you what you want to hear.
Thank you. Well, what other goal would there be?
Keep going.
Okay, anyway. So at the start of
Proceed.
each season, you want to win a championship, right?
Yes.
And if we think about some of the greatest winners of all time, right, would you say that winning a three-peat is difficult?
Very so.
So how many times has that happened in history? Do you know?
Few.
A few times, right? So some of the greatest players in history,
Four, right?
some of the greatest winners in history, have only won one championship, maybe won two in a row, maybe won a few, but they were like sporadic throughout their career. It's rare that you see a team or a player accomplish a three-peat, right? Tim Duncan, he won it, I think, like every other year. He has like 5 of them, but he never did it twice in a row.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant did it 3 times in a row, and it took him and Shaq to do it, right? He did a three-peat, right? I think those 60 Celtics with Cousy and them, they did it like 100 times in a row, whatever it was. I'm just saying, but that was a different era. My point is, in the modern era of basketball, to win 3 times in a row is damn near impossible. Nobody can do
it
it.
is.
Those Warriors in the 2015 era to 2020, they won it a bunch of times, but they also couldn't do it 3 times in a row. LeBron James, 2012 and 2013, couldn't do it a 3rd time in a row. Ended up losing to those same Spurs. My point is that a three-peat is hard to come by, and if championships is how we measure greatness in the NBA, how could we say that anyone other than the only man to do it twice in one career is any worse than anybody else to ever play the game?
Yeah.
If the ultimate goal
Yep.
is NBA championships, LeBron James, I'm sure, is on record saying that that's what the ultimate goal for any NBA player would be. How do we pick anyone other than the only man who was able to do a three-peat, which is probably the hardest thing to do in basketball, twice? After taking a year off to play baseball, smoke cigars, and gamble.
Lots to
Yeah,
unpack.
I mean, I agree with that. The goal of the game is to win, and we're talking about greatness here. So if you're great, then you win. And to win and dominate for that 10-year span the way Jordan did, we have to give credit to that. If there was an era, if there was a 10-year span where LeBron James won 6 or 7 championships in those 10 years, we'd be talking a lot different about the guy. Because we'd be like, damn, dude, he sure did dominate those 2010s, right? But it just didn't happen. So we can't. But we can with Jordan. It's reality. What do you guys think about this one? I'm very curious. This is going to be a fun comment section.
Back there.
Unpack
it.
I gotta remember all the crazy shit you just said.
Crazy.
Like the good brother Deshaun.
How is that crazy?
First of all, all that would be great and all that'd be dandy if the Basketball Hall of Fame was the Basketball Hall of Fame of three-peats. If that was the only thing we measured by, and if the top players of all times are only the ones who got three-peats, then we'd have no conversations. It would be there's like 3 players we're talking about in NBA history. But that's not the case. And yes, the way you measure success is winning championships as a team. That is so contextual. I understand that we treat Michael Jordan like a god who is a one-man army against the world. He's not. It's a 12-man roster, 15 back then. It's so much contextually needed to talk about team versus team that I think that's the general error of what way we talk about basketball in general is saying we measure success via championships. That's part of it, but it's part of a larger whole to understand a player, his impact, his skills, weighing all that individually. So I don't think championships are the end all be all.
Of course you don't. You're a LeBron fan. You've had to manipulate yourself and gaslight yourself to believe that a championship's not that important. 2nd place or 3rd place is pretty good. Yeah, I get it. Consolation prizes. I understand. You know, I remember when I was young and I was playing in a YMCA league and we won. It was a bad season. We won 1 game all year, right? And then we got handed trophies, consolation prize. I destroyed my trophy when I got home because that's BS. We didn't win crap. We didn't deserve to win crap. Okay, and I was a little kid. So we're talking about grown adults celebrating losses. No, you get stronger from your losses. We don't celebrate that crap. We come back stronger and we win. That's what greatness is.
You know, a requisite amount of success to show that your talent can, translate in the playoffs. I don't think necessarily hitting a certain number is the only way to talk about that. And I certainly don't think three-peats is the only way that you can justify that. It's very impressive, not take it away. Yeah. But if three-peats were just the measure, then you would have Bill Russell at 2. I don't believe you have Bill Russell at 2.
No, because there's obviously a lot more to consider.
Exactly.
For sure, right?
A whole
but when
lot.
it comes down to it, right? When you're looking at Jordan and LeBron and they're like kind of neck and neck in pretty much every category except winning, which is what the ultimate goal of an NBA player is, to win. And if you and I'm looking at 2 guys, one who's won more than the other, with pretty much the same stats. And yeah, LeBron's playing 22 years. Michael Jordan played 14 or 15. There's like going to be some discrepancies there. But the fact of the matter is that he played 6 years less and has more accolades, relatively the same amount of stats. I just think if we're going to look at two players who are so close, which is why we're having this debate, why not let it come down to, at the end of the day, who was holding the trophy at the end of the season? Michael Jordan did it 6 times in 6 tries.
Yeah, you mentioned it's
24
hard.
seconds.
God, Jesus. You mentioned that it's hard to win in the modern NBA, make three-peats. That is true. You made it sound like the modern NBA is the same as when Michael Jordan was, like the modern NBA started in 1990. It didn't.
I think it did.
It just straight up not. We're in such a different world than we were in the 90s. Back then, there was way less player movement. It was way easier to make your team and keep them together. We know he had the best team. He's part of that, but he had an amazing supporting cast. The reason LeBron has to cycle through teammates, it's hard to build a good team today when you're not a homegrown, draft all your stars type of team. You can't, elongated success is harder.
Well, I'm just going to say this. LeBron James, he spent most of the 80s getting his ass whooped by Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. All these guys had every opportunity in the world to leave Chicago and join any of those teams to make sure they had better players around him. But he stuck it out in Chicago. They developed the team. They put players around him that they can win. And then he won 6 in a row outside of his little gambling era. But then, I say that to say, with LeBron at the buzzer, he's soft.
His ass was under contract. He did not have every opportunity.
Oh, man. At the buzzer, he's soft.
I do thank you for your service. Okay, this next topic.
Okay. I'm keeping track because, man, I could literally just flow this whole thing right now. I'm really enjoying it. But as the comments, your guys' comments have told me, stay away from the super long videos because, you know, you guys aren't a fan of it. And I totally understand it. And I appreciate you letting me know. Because of that, I'm gonna have to stop this right here, but it's perfect timing because that ended the second category or topic of discussion that they're having. So perfect timing to stop it. Let me know if you guys want me to continue this because it looks like I can do like probably 2 more parts of this. And this is a lot more fun than I thought it was gonna be. These are fun debates. I'm not a fan of the LeBron fan, but of course I'm not supposed to be here. Like to me, he's like the villain of this story. But I'm really enjoying hearing what the LeBron haters have to say about this, because a lot of the things that they're saying are things that all of us are talking about all the time. So it's pretty cool. Like I thought this might be like a phony, like a fake, and it was just going to be a bunch of fake fans involved in this. But it sounds like these are real fans who are passionate about this. So good time so far. Anyways, everybody, let me know what you think. Hopefully by now you've chimed in on these 2 topics so far, and it's gonna be fun. Let's have a little debate down low in the comments. Let's keep it civil, and yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna link the original video if you guys want to skip ahead. Go ahead. The video is in the the link is in the description box. And everybody, please leave this video a like. Let's pump it out there so we get our opinions out. And subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. I'm not sure when I'm going to do a part 2 on this, but it's going to be sooner rather than later. I'll put it that way. All right? All right, guys. Peace out.